Good evening, everybody. Hi, Alka. You want to come up? Let me bring you up. Hello, everybody on the Wisdom app. Let's see who has come up now. Oh, Christopher. Welcome, Christopher. And everybody on the LinkedIn, YouTube, and all the other channels. Yeah, I was really talking to somebody about the need for soft skills. Yesterday we talked a little bit about it, but I have a whole series I have prepared for in the burnout for the physicians coaching, right? There we felt all the physicians who are training in the hospital, we meaning the senior physicians and the administration, formed together a committee, and one of the recommendations of the committee was we need to really revisit soft skills and teach people not to be so egotistical about their knowledge and status, but be more empathetic to the patients, to the nurses, to the staff, and everybody, right? That was well taken, and we developed a course on that, what was needed and all that. Frequently, the communication, the collaboration, and can you hear me, Alka? Just give me an indication that you can hear me. I don't know why this is not getting on. Can you hear me, Alka? Hopefully you can hear me. Give me an indication whether you can hear me or not, because this clubhouse is acting up like that. Um, okay, so the first thing was about effective communication, and how you collaborate is the second one. Adaptability to the new technology is the third one, and we have the teamwork as the fourth. These are the four things we really considered at the time, but there is now digital literacy and data literacy. All those things are important too. So I was going to focus on that. I pinned a link on the top here in Clubhouse about a video that I kind of produced there. So uh, can't hear you. Okay. Okay. Hi, Prasad. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah. Because Alka was there and she said she could not hear me. That's why I can hear you very well. Welcome, Prasad. Yeah, I just opened the room and I was talking about how our need for burning out doctors, we were training them. At the time, there was a decision made about forming a committee for soft skills, and then now I find this soft skills are very much needed for all the digital marketers, entrepreneurs, and all that, right? In that spirit, I thought I will bring out that old course that I had, and then I'll present some of that. I played a new video out of that. Um, I pinned it up there. You can see it, one of the videos I made on soft skills. In that, not only what are the soft skills we want to explore, but also there are what are the sources to develop soft skills is also there. Okay, anybody's interested, they can always look at that. So that's what I was focusing on. Number one on the list was communication. Number two was how do we collaborate with the other teams and all that. Number three was how you can adaptability. And then this leadership skills, critical thinking skills, empathetic skills, data literacy, and also digital literacy. So many these things I'm addressing individually when people approach me having some problems in their companies or in their day-to-day affairs. They kind of reach out for my take on it, and then usually comes down to this that people do not have the inner soft skills that we should be revisiting. It's not like a placid you can learn one time and they will be there, but you get to revisit them and then understand why they have become such more importance because people are addicted to technology, right? Without us knowing, we are like that. That's why coming back to these kind of things are very important, I believe. So, what do you think, Prasad? What is the need for soft skills?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. This is not just the technology part. There are so many things that goes into that, including soft skills, as you said. In fact, I ran a emerging technology marketing gig,
Hmm.
of course, including social media, etc. When um, LinkedIn and other media came into the existence. This was long.
Okay.
Um, from Silicon Valley. So since then, I've been following this social media marketing kind of thing. Sometimes I will also sit with my designers to look into every minute detail because when you put this out, it has to touch
Hi, Alka.
someone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I thought it's very important to develop these skills, not just for only the technologies, but everybody, because we have to use this technology, which I like really. I don't have any beef about them, but it's how we are going to use it is going to be an issue. But technology itself is beautifully evolving. There are certain concerns that are there, but I'm more concerned about people get addicted to phone and not able to get away from these devices and then having problems of sleep or problems of relaxation, all those things. Those are the problems I usually get. Either people are having headaches or people are not able to sleep or they are not able to relate properly with their loved ones. So all those things I hear as a casual thing sometimes. Sometimes the parents complain about the kids. Sometimes the wives complain about their husbands. So either way, I hear them. Okay, and being in touch with both, spiritual things and also technological things helps me a lot to understand them better. That's one of the things. Empathy, that is a very important skill for all of our doctors because we really have to empathize our patients, and that's a must if you want to be a kind, compassionate, understanding physician, and that helps a lot for the atmosphere. But if you are like a hothead and like a arrogant and egotistical, the whole situation goes out of whack. That's why I kind of put premium on what is empathy, what's the degree of empathy you have, and how could you really tap the depths of it and all that. That's what my you so to say more interest, right? So I kind of look into that much easier, without judging them, without saying that you are such a rogue or anything, but just ease them into their understanding. And lots of times people are able to see it and they're able to understand what's the benefit of it, but how much they will adopt it, it depends upon their situation and so their application and all that. Okay, Alka, what do you think about this soft skills for the generally technologically savvy people?
I think we all need to do it in our roles.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought so that we're all will be seeing more and more need of it as we get more and more techno savvy and also have to use it because it is there and it kind of demands that we use that too. Especially my field, the healthcare providers, not just the doctors, but all of them are going through a lot of stress and burnout and demoralization. So we definitely have to nurture this. One of the things I tell them is nurture the spirit of service, and also empathy and kindness and being patient. All these things also, when you have a degree of soft skill development within you, or you revisit that with a department or somebody that is really trying to educate interns, students, and junior doctors, and all people about human ethical values. That's a new thing now. All the doctors have to go through those courses so that they understand the feeling of patients and all that, right? And that's an important thing. And also, of course, we always bring ecological balance, what we are doing, how to be conservative with our usage of things and saving things and all. That also you have to have certain degree of empathy of what's going on around us too. So there are a list of things I put in that video. We are not going to discuss all of them today, but maybe a couple of them we will do that. And also, there's half the video is about a lot of sources of how to improve these soft skills, and where you can form associations or network meetings like that. I think that could be useful for people who want to just to review them, and they may be identifying some things they are already doing. If not, they may have ideas about it. That's the purpose why I put that video. You can watch the video. It's not big video. It's 5 6 minutes only, so you should be able to see them very conveniently. Oh, my friend Sanya is here. She knows the soft skills very well. So let me talk to her too. Hi, Sanya.
Hi, Dr. Ram. I
Yeah.
thought I'd drop in today. Friday. Beautiful
This
day.
is about you. This is about the digital marketers needing to use soft skills and how to develop so that they will be more in tune with their customers. The customer care is also one of the soft skills anyway. It's a broad subject. I pinned a video upstairs, Sanya. There you can take a look at it, and then we can discuss about that later between you and me a lot. But
Okay.
yeah, yeah, this is something important, right? This soft skills. Sanya has a very gentle side of her. I know her, so she is more empathetic to her friends and everybody, and very infectious laugh. So she has already has a lot of soft skills, but you will still gain some things. For example, data literacy. How much data literacy people have is the question. you know this is going to be more important, because if you don't know what is the good data, what is the bad data, then you will be like that with uh, everything. So what happens is, the data that is not good will feed it in, then we'll get the data that is bad out of us. So that's also very important to know how the data is used, how the data is spitting out something that's not right. That's a major concern. So we call it data cleaning, and then putting the data in there. That's a huge project too. But sometimes it is so huge, it has already taken so many repercussions from the data, we are not able to do anything. That's a problem there too. So, Sanya, how do you handle your customers? Let's listen some of your ways how you do that.
I find out what they need and I help them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the kind of important, right? Knowing the needs of the customer and attending to that, and then really understanding them from their point of view. That's the soft skill I'm talking about, right? Okay. So you're very much into that because you want to figure out what they need, rather than you telling them you can use this way, that way, this is good. No, that's not really good in the sense. Yeah, definitely. Customer relations, knowing what the target audience and knowing what they need, what they want, to understand them is very, very important. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Anybody else has any questions, any comments, anything that you want to say?
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I think she has the same problem as I did you too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that, of course, over the years you develop a lot of in terms of questions. And I appreciate now why, when we were doing the wellness classes,
Yeah,
that you left the questions to me, because that's pretty much kind of like the journey that I'm in.
yeah,
And of course, with the skills and my financial planning background, and getting to the point where it kind of helped me navigate,
yeah,
where kind of more focus, I guess, in terms of like, because you need to determine. A lot of people come to they don't know what exactly they
yeah,
want, right?
exactly.
And I find that it between the times, right? It takes us to narrow it down. Otherwise, we'll be there forever. So we have to find a way to like focus on the things that are important to people, right?
Yeah,
And build it out from there.
yeah,
And I just really appreciate those kind of skills
yeah.
and the skill set that comes along with it, right?
You
And
see, what happens
so
in that yoga class is I know the student and I know what they are, where they are at, but I don't want to come and say, you are this. I want them to discover for themselves what it is, and that is more like a uh, allowing them to discover themselves who they are, what they want, and that allows them real independence about which way they want to go. Some people are not ready for some things, and then some people are not ready to even listen. But then we should not force feed them. We have to make them realize what they want really, and then guiding them to discover it is a bigger service. In terms of this morning, I had a long discussion in Raki's room. We were talking about what is a true guru and who is not a guru and all that, right? So I was telling them the guru is the one who will direct yourself to your own inner self by allowing you to walk by yourself, not force feeding or not spoon feeding, but more like encouraging, appreciating the growth, and really giving you the strength to take another step by you, and eventually Ola, you discovered yourself, and that would be a tremendous awakening to anybody. That's what I was doing with you, Sanya. So I was not conversing like this. I was more like doing stuff with her about the yoga, pranayama, meditation. Of course, online we are doing it, but I would maintain a stoic silence, but really in the awareness and doing everything. The benefit of those was seen because she became more flexible, she became more silent in her mind, she became more tuned to the nature and all that. Then she was encouraged every day. What are the questions you have? Then I answered, but then the questions went deeper and deeper because she was probing by herself to the deeper aspects of herself. Then she kind of discovered them and she stuck with them more because she discovered it by herself. Right,
yeah,
Sonia?
yeah,
Dr. Rao, she's saying something. Actually, in fact, we would love from you a next step, for example, as I have heard you before also. So I don't want to take a time, but she has said a very nice thing, and then she has at a very that like kind of a stage where maybe you can say how to proceed from that step to the next step. In fact, you can properly uh, basically counsel or say something. If I can please request you, because I heard on that part, please.
Okay. Prasad, please don't bring anybody without asking me because we want to be in a certain energy, certain way of looking at things. And Sanya can speak on her own, whatever she wants. No problem. She has been with me for so long a time. She can talk anytime. I always invite her right away. Yeah, Sanya, you want to say something?
yeah. I like what you're talking about in terms of the self-discovery, and of course we're talking about soft skills of
Yeah.
digital marketers, right? I yeah. Initially, what do you think in terms of like because some what you just mentioned, right? Sometimes you mentioned the word force feed. Sometimes I think because there are some things that people don't know what they want, and so initially we do have. I feel that we do have to do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Because just in terms of presenting some solutions. From there is like for me is that they'll discover like the real in terms of path or what their organization or company would like to go through, right? Because through the steps that I take them on,
You
and
see,
that they will have generated their own ideas as well,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
you are able to come to the wellness club. That itself is important, right? And then you are there willingly, but then how much you want to progress depends upon your sense of motivation and your readiness and all that, right? In spiritual matters, there is what is called non-violence. That means you don't force anything unless they are ready for it, right? You can say you should be self-realized, Sonia. You don't have a foggiest day about all that, then every day you are kind of ridiculed or criticized or said whatever it is, then what happens is you will be choked. See, that's why um, compare. You have to be very strong, not to be forcing somebody who is accepting you as teacher or something, but then taking back and say you have the ability, you have the capacity, you just have to bring it out at your own pace. That usually people do. If you are like a loving, affectionate, encouraging, kind and friendly person, then they have more strength to blurt it out, to ask things, because otherwise they have a lot of hesitation, right? So that's what was happening.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and you're right in terms of like there is no force, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of helping or empowering people to come up with their own stuff,
Yeah.
or understand, the things that they want to in their lives, right?
Yeah.
And what kind of business or the person that you want to become
Yeah.
is an interesting process, and I really appreciate, not only in that aspect and seeing things bloom as well
Yeah.
as that is the awesome part as well for
Yeah.
me to see as people grow and understand themselves and they come back and realize that the things that we do like you said at certain moments they're not ready yet when
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the initial stage,
That's
right?
it.
I think that readiness is like sometimes have to be like a little bit of
Yeah.
a nudge, a loving nudge, like you mentioned. Like
you
I
know,
love that.
there are
And
always challenges given to you, but they were given without you really perceiving that they are challenges, but they were put in there, and you were slowly going towards them, and then you kind of took that and then went through it, right? Uh, so I will tell you something, probably very important thing. There is something Vivekananda said somewhere. Everybody eventually are going to be self-realized, being that's the highest. Really realizing your own inner divine self. That's what I mean. Okay, that is the self-realization. That means realization meaning it's already there, and you just have to realize that. So you have so many things impeding that realization, and those are the layers of onion like. Then you got to go through your karma, the things that you are going to pay for whatever you have done and what you are doing and all that. As long as they are there in the kind of energy form, you will not be able to open up yourself. Even though you know it intellectually, you will not be able to open up. It's like this. There is a kindergarten, there is preschool, there is high school, and there's college, university, right? In the If the graduation, the top thing that you're going to achieve is self-realization, for example, You will be going not just one life, several lives, going through from kindergarten to university. Where you are, you may not know, but you will have to pay for all that, and then you will be having more of a, layer ripping off. But there is a direct way that they talked about in the ancients. See, we started soft skills, we are going to deep philosophy, but that's okay. I think understanding this will help the soft skills much better. So you are unraveling that by unselfish work. When I mentioned this Nishkama Yoga, Nishkam Karma, that is working actively but not really looking for the profits or the fruits of the labor, right? That unselfish work is supposed to take off all the desires from you and purify your mind. And then that purified mind, when you focus, that becomes still, like a river that is still on the top surface and also very clean. You can see the bottom of the river, right? So once you are at that stage, then you can realize the deeper real self very easily. You can see it very easily too. That's the whole struggle. Some of these knotted up energies are carried with you. Suppose you think of something negative all the time and you are a negative person. When your body dies, you will be carrying those negative energies in the form of samskaras, tendencies, vasanas to your next life. That's the entire thing about the karma. And then you will spend another lifetime or maybe many other lifetimes to come out of that kind of inertia or jadatva, and then you will be having this chetana, that is awakening. That awakening happens to you, then you will come to the teachers and you will expose yourselves to the teachings. The teachings could be your teacher, and then you will absorb them because you already awakened to some degree. But if you are basically not interested in that, then you will be enjoying things or only worldly matters and all that. Then you will not be awakened and you will carry that next time too. So that is the theory about it, assumption about karma theory. You are going through the entire level of education according to your readiness, your karma, and all that. Once you clear that, then once you are awakened and the thought completely extinguished in that sense, then you won't have another jump. That's what is called a Jivan Mukta. That means liberated from your mind and the thinking and all that while you are alive. Realizing that you are a soul and then the body mind is instruments, that's simple. Self realization. But that also happens after the many lives and many hours, many kind of days you spend with this and all that, right? But that is simple thing. The next step is usually you have to establish in that wisdom. That is the very very important thing. And then the next step is this jivan mukta, really liberated while living. That's how they have so many systems evolved and people were there who have experienced this. But then the person who is really into any of these phases will not looked upon on somebody like, you don't look upon a kid learning the ABCDs. Let him learn, and you have to lovingly share with him and help him to realize that, help him to walk on the path of life too. So that's what happens if you are really truly um, enlightened or awakened or self-realized. You don't look down on other people as though they are not good enough. Okay. On the other hand, you kind of help them lovingly to walk their walk. So you can throw the light on the path, but then let them walk gingerly, nicely, and give the support, but not assuming yourself over them and then making them your slaves. That's what is happening with so many gurus exploiting people, all those things. First of all, they don't go beyond their own silly desires. And how can they are not egoless, they are not desireless. So they will be. exploiting people in the name of they know and you don't know. That's not the case. They know, but you are not yet wakened up. Make sense, Sanya? If you don't understand, tell me. This is a big deal to understand this.
Yeah, we're trying to digest it. It is in a few loops, so it's very interesting to take this perspective, Dr. Rao. Really cool. Just trying to find.
I told you it's a big deal.
I changed my phone.
It's a big deal because it's not entices only this entices your entire existence, maybe in other lives, other planets, whatever. So that's all. It becomes very esoteric. But the main thing to understand is everybody eventually self-realized. Once you have that assurance, then you see, okay, where am I? What can I do? So, for example, an ice cube is there, and the ice cube is a consolidated energy, right? Knots of energy. And it is Antarctica. The circumstances for that is very little to melt down. But then, if it melts down and it forms like a river, it flows very, the river that is in full flow is a tremendous activity. And that activity can turn into gas and then help us to run a train. That is harnessed energy. So, like that, all matter, human mind have these three energies, right? So in a physical realm they are like that, they form the all the atmosphere, everything else, right? But in the human mind, these energies, one of them will be dominant. And the person who is really self-realized, there he is, they call guna theta. That means he will go beyond these three gunas: tamas, rajas, and sattvic. But you can understand these and you can see what is made up of you. For example, Sonia, you take yourself, you're always trying to achieve something, do something, think about things, worry about things, and find solutions, and invent new things you want to pursue. All that is the rajasic energy. You don't want to sit down, you don't want to calm, cool down, and all that. But at the same time, this rapid energy, only if you do that, that made you very tired. That's why you look into spiritual matters with interest, because you want to find some peace, you want to find some happiness and something like that, right? That's when you want to find out what is in me, what is that I could really understand and all that. So you were going more towards sattvic, the meditation, the breathing, the nature touch, all those things invoke that sattvic energy. So the burnt out energy otherwise would have gone with rajas, which would have separated you from this finding out the unitary nature of ours. And for that, you did the sattvic measures, coming to the yoga, doing the breathing, doing the meditation. You were doing it before, you were doing it this way, but with me, you came more closer to the awareness. So that's why you are able to harness your energy now and balancing it out. So that's an important thing to understand. And eventually, everybody will be beyond these three gunas. And that is very difficult because most of the people are stuck with one and they run with it. So to understand all these things, you have to have the insight into that. Okay. Anyway, these gunas also kind of helps us with the soft skills. A person who is basically has a dominant tamas, he is like kind of inertia, lazy, doesn't want to get excited about anything. Just he may do it, he may not do it, and all that, right? So those kind of people want to make him work and participate things, or either by financial pressure or punishment or scolding, whatever, all that, right? But the people that are really ambitious, that really want to do so many things, and then they'll be running around all the time, if not physically, mentally they are running all the time. That is rajasic. So those people do not know how to calm down, how do not know how to give sympathy to the inertia people, do not know how to appreciate the sattvic energy and all that, right? So understanding what you are made up of, what you could transition into, that also helps with this soft skills quite a bit. Soft skills are nothing but how really evolved you are inner dimension wise in your being. You know, you shouldn't be egotistical. You shouldn't be really um, thinking only of yourself rather than other people. And the people who are really interested in other people, they have much more higher level of soft skills. It's natural for them to. Good leaders are those who take care of other people. Good leaders are those who handle the minds of other people, not in a manipulative way, but in understanding and then giving them loving, compassionate nurturance. That becomes a very, very good soft skill because a, a person like that is already happy with what he found within himself. He doesn't need external things. That's an important finding that I discovered with my studies of the yogic folklore. See, usually we are brought up like happiness is out there in the things that we make money, we make accumulate things, status, and all those things, right? I have seen all of that, but then that was not there really in the sense, you know. Then I don't know. I was always oriented towards the inner matters. I always used to talk about inner riches, really finding kindness and things like the simple things. But then what they were talking about, the yogis, they said, "Hey, we are content with what we are inside. We found the purna, that is perfection within us, and then, having found our cup full, we don't have to go after anything outward, but we're going to go and help the welfare of the world." And that is the energy they have. So they kind of very productive number of, you know, no matter how what you talk here, people will ultimately come to how much money you can make, how much comfort you have, how many things you have, and all that. That is a kind of looking at the ladder somebody claimed, and you want to claim that too. And the person who claimed before you, he was climbing his feet on other people's heads and then going up. But then, even though you are one of them, he put his head and go up. Then you want to do the same thing in a worldly sense. But then, if you don't have that, then you are content with what you have. You don't need to climb. So inner riches are much more important than outer riches. People deny all those things and all. That's not. You have to understand and really achieve these inner riches. Then outer things do not matter that much. Make
But you
sense?
just said that, yeah. I mean, Dr. Rao, you know, the last few months and then the last few days, I mean, my focus was a little more going inward a little bit, right? So the practice became like that every day, right? And it was interesting. I didn't think like in 1 day or 2 days, going through all these processes, especially around emotions, right?
Yeah.
For me, it had always been like that. And so when I kind of like, if you use the word surrender or just,
Yeah.
allow everything to come into you, right? Whatever it is, just go full force on. I used to think that I have to be like in control of me, right? But then when you go through this process of freeing everything instead of like having these little conflict within yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Just letting go, surrender, or however. I don't use this word surrender too much, but it's more like just like allow things to come to you as time
Yeah.
permitted, right? Or people always say divine timing and all of these things. I see that now in me because I feel like I don't want any like what they say, right? Friction within me, right? And so when you work it all out, it's just a beautiful thing that arises within you, right? And I find this is like the most, in terms of rewarding and the joyful process that comes with it, right? Because it's going beyond, that love of, not only for, it's not for yourself really, it's for all that's around you, right?
It is love. It is love, and then it ebbs out of you whether you want it or not. But then most of the time, it is a very voluntary. It's like something like this, Anya.
Yeah,
you give out, you give out, you have more coming in from you, from within you. So this is an important thing for me, because when I read about that, when I studied that, not just read about it, but really understood through the other people's discussions and all that. I'm not talking about local news. I'm talking about real spiritual beings like Ramana and all that, right? So Ramana said something: just watch whatever comes to you, just whatever goes from you, and that is very profound. Okay. So this yogi is saying we are content with the abundant dimension we discovered within ourselves. We are very happy about that, and this is a constant well of joy and love and peace, right? So once they're established in that, they went about serving other people, or really helping others. There's a saying called Atma Mokshardham Jagat Hitaya Cha. First, discover who you are, discover that self, discover Atman, whatever it is within you. And once you discover that, that's a very, very, it's like a diamond like, it's more like a um, Purnam, they call that. That means forever fulfilled, complete, holistic self, right? Purnamidam, Purnamadam, Purna. There's a very, very famous um, uh, from Upanishads, right? So that Professor one says, you have come from the real, perfect being. So whatever comes from that is the perfect being. But the human beings are divine selves clothed in body mind complex, the five layers that are there. So once you understand and discover that divine self and be there all the time, it becomes a real thing. Once you discover that, you don't need really anything in life, but then you go through the motions. So I told you about the karma, whatever you did and all that too. So understanding these things at a major level is important. In psychosomatic medicine, Sanya, once you understand the body, mind, and all these gunas are at the mind, and everything going through that, because suppose you have a pain, you react neurologically and chemically, and because you are reacting at that ego level, it is going to get worse. On the other hand, people who have transcended the ego and really established themselves in their true self, that doesn't react to these things, to these gunas. That is when you are gunathita, right? Then you are established in your real nurturing, not only for you, for everybody else will be there. So it's not a transaction thing that they do. It's more like a uh, giving, loving, and sharing just because it is there. It comes through something natural.
Yeah, thank you. I have to go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I thought I lose you. Yeah, so I'm really appreciating that. I will listen to the rest of it when recording there.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you so much, of course, for coming into my life. Right? And so I want to leave at that part because just realizing, people come to our lives sometimes to help us, unlock and realize certain things, right?
Soft
And
skills is
I feel
something with a series I'm doing now, Sanya. There are so many videos I already have. I'm going to dig them out and present them here. This first video, look at that and then let me know what you think. And the second video also, probably tomorrow I'll bring the second video and I'll go on like that for a few days. Yeah, by the way, we are doing a couple of things in Raki's room because they requested me. One is about a week-long um, summit on wellness because I kind of wanted to do that way, and then we are ensembling several people. Some people coming in for diet, some people come for other things, right? Uh, there is one section on the women's health also. I am bringing a new concept called proactive wellness. This is not preventative care, but how you can be proactive about your wellness by knowing what can be done in 10 years. You can do it now. Okay, that is being proactive wellness. That is what I want to promote as a physician. So I'm arranging that probably I don't know what time it would be. And they also asked her something about belly fat. And I was kind of told them belly fat is superficial, but it's a reflection of your bad lifestyle. So we're going to talk
my
about.
God, Dr. Well, I did do some of
Yeah,
the things that you trained us to do.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm appreciating that. So this summer it's becoming, and also of course I've been watching what I'm eating and consuming,
Yeah.
as
No,
well,
I
right?
just
So
want you to look out for these two and then make an attempt to at least listen to them. If you could, if you participate, it's
yeah,
good enough. Okay.
sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Nice to see everyone or hear everyone.
Yeah.
And take care. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Prasad and Alka, any questions? Anything that you want to ask me about? Or anybody on the wisdom app, you want to come up, you can come up too. So, few more minutes, I will be finishing this room. So we'll
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I'm still having the sync in my mind. I understand all these things carefully, but I am trying to dig deep into this. I remember some folks. Actually, we faced with some folks who really hard, and when you talked about the incarnation or rebirth, with those stiff qualities that they live with, is a mind-boggling thing for me. I don't know whether they would change in their new life or want to be in the same. Running in the same circle again.
No, no, the thing is, Prasad, you are using your intellect. That's why it is mind boggling. But you are supposed to use not the mind, but your intuitive self. Then these things will be much more comprehensible, right?
Oh, got it, got it.
That's
Thank
it. Alka, anything I can answer for you? I think she is content to listen. Okay. All right, Prasad. I will take leave now if there's no other questions and all that, and then we'll meet again tomorrow. I'm meeting every day. I have three different houses. The BA Pal is the one we came now, but there is one called Sivagnana Jiva Seva, and other one is Docks and Burnout. Both the houses also, and those I'm meeting on Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Sivagnan Jiva Seva. And then on Saturday, we are meeting Docks and Burnout. But this one is every day, 6 o'clock. Okay.
Okay. Could we catch up after this thing, Dr. Rao, if I may?
No, I have
Maybe
a
sometime,
this
10
this.
minutes.
No, I have this COVID room that they are inviting me several times. Let me
Oh, okay.
meet them, and after 7:30 we can meet again. Here it is around 6:45. 7:30 we can meet. Okay.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Alka. Bye.